Hi, everybody, and welcome to another installation of Ask a Witch. I got to tell you, man, it's another day like that. I've been editing all day long, and so here I am, no makeup, completely scary witch crone natural. So just roll with it because I'm going to give you some really fun information. Now, one thing you're going to notice is different about Ask a Witch and my channel in general is I'm not begging you to subscribe. I'm not begging you to click any bells or anything like that. I'm here. I believe that the universe will take you to this information if you're meant to have it. So yeah, I'm not if you want to subscribe, I'd love that. But listen, I'm not saying, oh, hit the bell, subscribe. Not doing that. So what we're going to talk about in Ask a Witch series, as you may have already seen, are the questions that come to me as a professional witch. Now, I'm an author of over 40 published books. I have been a witch for more than 40 years, and I work professionally as a witch doing spell work for other people. You can see some of it back here over my shoulder. And so I have some experience with this, and I've had a lot of opportunities to try lots of different things and see what works and what doesn't. That being said, I'm going to straight up say right from the beginning, all of this is my impression. This is what I have had happen for me. Your experience might be different. And if you have mentors that are telling you something different or you have a different experience, it's just as valid. This is just my truth and how it works best for me. So, what I've been asked about this week quite a bit are the rules, if you want to call it that, for spell work and burning spell candles. And what we use for our spell candles, we have several different ones. We use beeswax, we use taper candles, we use votives, we use tea lights, but the most common candle that I use is the prayer candle. And this particular one, now we make our own at crossroadsoccult.com. We have so many different prayer candles for so many different purposes. But this particular one is from Milk and Honey, which is a company in Sebastopol. I really recommend checking them out. They're great. This is one of my favorite protection candles, and I use it for me. I prefer, if I'm doing my magic, to use a candle somebody else made. I like that feel of getting a candle that someone else has put their love and energy into and using that for my own purposes. And so I usually don't use our candles for my work. It's not as a statement on the quality of what we do. We make great candles. I just like the cooperative feeling of having somebody else involved in my work, almost as though they're going to keep me from misstepping, bless their hearts. And so, Milk and Honey, I promise I'm not roping you into sheriffing me. You wouldn't want to do that. Anyway, so this is just a little candle that's burning. When you light your candle, when you get a candle from us, it is already prepared. We have poked holes in the top. We have infused it with a sympathetic oil. We have put sympathetic herbs on it, and we've put a little glitter on it there to track the energy as it burns to see when it was at a higher energetic level than other times. We have infused it with the specific purpose that you told me in your email that you needed put into that candle. And so it's prepared just for you. In this case, I attuned this candle to my desire for protection by just holding it, focusing on what I wanted, visualizing it to the extreme, and then you just light the candle. You don't have to say any special words. You don't have to do anything special. You just focus. You don't light the candle while you're talking on the phone or while you're making your grocery list. You're going to take a moment just for that candle, be with it, hold space with the candle, tell it exactly what you want it to do, and then you light it up. But that's where the question comes in, isn't it? Because what happens next? Should you burn the candle straight through or put it out and relight it later? And that is completely up to you. Now, most of the time, when I'm doing spell work for other people, so I use our candles to do spell work for my clients. I am going to have that candle burn straight through. And the way that I keep it safe is I have pots and pans that I'll burn the candles in when I am not going to be present. And that way, if the glass ruptures, it's going to go straight down into the pan and not create a fire hazard. I'm very sensitive about fire hazards. Some candles, mostly the ones for myself, I burn a little at a time. I've been working on this protection candle for months now. And so what'll happen is I'll burn it, get some of the energy into the air and out there in the universe, and then I put it out. And what's going to happen is that the candle is really vital and really busy and really powerful during the time you are burning it. The second you put out the candle, that energy starts to wane immediately. And it's just going to continue to reduce hour by hour, day by day, until you reach the baseline of that situation again. So I always say all magic has an expiration date. Every spell you do will expire. No matter what kind of spell it is, there is no permanent spell. Just like there is no battery, no Duracell battery you can put in a drawer and have it always work. That energy is going to drain off. Now, how fast it drains off is going to have to do with nothing more than the energy load for the situation at hand. And that's going to be very individual to each spell you do. So different spells will require different amounts of energy. Now, what's going to affect that? How much resistance are you getting to that spell? And that's a whole other video. But when you put the candle out, the energy is going to start to wane. It's at its highest power when it's burning. And you want to not lose very much of that energy for when you relight it. So here's what's going to happen: is you put the candle out, your energy starts to wane. A few days later, you decide to light the candle again. You light it, and you're not starting from where you were usually when you first lit the candle, way back at square one, but you're starting further down the energy scale than you were when you put out the candle. So how can we preserve that? I'm going to tell you what works. Now, this is a temporary fix. It doesn't hold the energy indefinitely, but it does keep it stable for a while longer than if you don't do this. So what you would do is put out your candle, and then I'll show you the trick that you're going to do. So how do you put out the candle? There are two ways, and both are hotly debated. There are people who say never, ever, ever blow out your candle. You're blowing the spirit of the magic away. You're blowing your spell work away. There are people who say never, ever, ever snuff your candle. You're suffocating the candle. You're keeping it from living and breathing and doing what it needs to do. Here's what I'm going to tell you as an old professional witch. It doesn't matter. Blow out the candle. Snuff the candle. Does not matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is what happens next, and that's what I'm going to show you. Now, I'm going to blow out the candle, and when I blow it out, there is going to be smoke that's going to come up out of the glass. While the smoke is still coming up out of the glass, lay a piece of selenite across the top in the smoke. This will keep the energy stable while the candle is out. Okay, there comes my smoke. Oh, it did go out. There we go. There comes the smoke. And I'm going to lay that in the smoke. And then I would just set this candle aside, let it resolve. While that selenite's on there, I'm going to keep that selenite on there until I relight the candle. When I relight the candle, I'll take the selenite off, light it again as usual. That's going to give me a higher energy starting point than if I had just blown the candle out and left it. So that's my trick for relighting a candle. Now, a lot of people ask, is it better to burn it straight through or better to burn it a little bit at a time? That depends on the intention of your candle. Sometimes you want a full-on thrust of days of energy. These candles are burning anywhere from 3, 5, 7 days, depending on, number one, the composition of the candle, number two, the size of the candle, and number three, the intention of the candle. So it's really individual to each spell and each candle. So if you want that hard push that doesn't ease up, you burn it straight through. And you would keep it in a fire-safe place for the time you're burning it. You can put it in, we have up here in the mountains, wood stoves. And if the wood stove isn't burning wood at the time, you can just set it in there. It's cast iron and it'll keep it safe. You can put it in a giant pot so that if it breaks, it's safe, so that the cats aren't knocking it over. You always want to keep those burning candles someplace safe so that nothing's going to knock it over. So if it breaks also, it's not going to catch anything on fire. So be very, very careful with fire safety on this. And that's your big push of several days. If you don't need that kind of push and you just want nudges, I just want to encourage, in this case, protection. Keep up my protective shields. Just keep that protection going. Burn it for as long as you choose. Spend your time with it for a little bit as it's burning, and then let it do its thing. Then you can put it out and relight it when you need it. Now, the one thing I will say is do not use that candle for a different purpose. So I would not burn my protection candle that is set up for my protection, put it out, and then relight it and say, I need money. You need to keep your candles dedicated to the specific goal that you set them up to do. So that's my talk on candles, on how to put them out, and how to light them and that sort of thing. Candle magic is the easiest magic you can use. It's super, super easy. And the wax is going to absorb your energy really well to release on a continual basis. And that's why so many of us really favor the candle magic. So I have lots of videos on here about how to read the glass after the candle's done. That's something else that's kind of a fine art, but anybody can do it. And I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you get something out of it and your candle magic. Thanks for being here, everybody. And we'll have other Ask a Witch episodes coming up soon. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.